2017 under federal guidance. In 2017, the federal government said, hey, the financial collapse is over. You can continue the program if you want without our oversight. And then 2020 came along and peeked its head through the door, and we all know what happened there, so we won't expand a whole lot on that. But as a result of what happened in 2020, the U.S. Treasury came in with a second round of funding to help small businesses that were having challenges in obtaining financing through normal means. Okay, second time around, we received 354 allotted to us for the state of Illinois, the fifth largest amount of any state. So we did really well last time with the program. So we received even more funding this time, which is great. They didn't give it to us all at once. It's allotted. So we just went through our first round, or first third of funding. And we're about a month out from getting our second round. So our pockets are going to be filled again. But to that end, we were able to revamp our Advantage Illinois program and not just have a participation loan program, but also a loan guarantee program, a venture capital program, and a program called climate banking, or green energy. So with that additional funding, we're able to, again, really expand our offerings. Now, when you go to seek capital, again, visit with an SBDC first, identify your challenges that you may have, so that when you go in to visit with your lender, you're again armed and ready, and you can say, hey, here's my dream. I want to open up this franchise. But of course, there's franchise fees at the beginning, and that's why you're there. So that's maybe it's the working capital or some other area that you know you're short on, or you're doing expansion and the collateral's off, or your credit's off, or your equity's off. Any of these normal items that we all, as restaurateurs and working in the service industry that you have. So when you approach your lender with a solid business plan and projections in place, and you identify your weakness or your challenge, I'll show you how you can utilize our list of approved lenders, go into one of our approved lenders that are affiliated with the program, and let them know that Advantage Illinois may be there to help offset some of that risk. So we're going to get into the Advantage Illinois program, and again, you'll have, this is public site, so you have access to all this information. So it describes a little bit about what we have to offer, how it came about, which I've already covered on there. Important notes on here: entrepreneurs and business owners should go in with a well-structured business plan. I have a direct link on here that we put in to find one of those small business development centers. But also remember that you must have a present challenge. And speaking to this group, it's the service industry is always a challenge for lenders when they're looking at it, because there is a lot more risk involved. So I would say most of you on this call may have a challenge in there in some form or fashion. But some basic qualifications. So you have to have a challenge, and you have to be a small business. A small business, as defined by the federal government, has less than 750 employees. If you're running a restaurant and you have more than 750, good for you. That's quite a bit. You do have to operate in the state of Illinois, be in good standing with the Secretary of State, clear of any back taxes. If you already owe the state some money, it makes it a little more difficult for us to assist in lending more money out. However, if you do have some back taxes and you have 12 months or more of successful payment history on those, then we can always take a look at that. We always try to make deals and projects work. And also important, no bankruptcies, judgments, or liens in the last 5 years. Okay, some of these are federal guidelines, some of these are state guidelines, because we do have to keep tight to both. Important note on here: the programs are administered through lenders. I think we have a lender on the call here. It's up to the lenders to decide if they want to take a project on. Just because they're affiliated with Advantage Illinois it's still up to them to determine, does it meet their guidelines? Do they want to take that business on? Or do they want to take it on and do it all themselves because they see that, it's successful risk, they can take that on themselves. What happens most times is the lender is somewhere in between. They don't want to turn you away. They like your story. They like your passion. They want community reinvestment. All these things are important to the lender. They like that, but there's some obstacle that's causing them to be concerned where they may not be able to do the entire project or wouldn't be able to do it without our help. So what happens in that case, the lender will send us their loan write-up. So all the information they gathered from you, the tax returns, the business plan projections, and their credit risk analysis, everything that they normally gather, they would send to us along with their request, saying, hey, we'd really like to help ABC restaurant out. It's community reinvestment. They're going to create X number of jobs, so on and so forth. Can you assist? And they put in their request amount. Okay. There's a questionnaire that they would provide to you, the borrower, which on that questionnaire you identify who you are, who your business is, or what your business is, what you intend to do with the money, expansion, build out, whatever it is. Do you fall within a certain segment of the population, or is your business located in a certain area where we can provide better terms or rate offsets through our program, because there is a rate offset, and a number of jobs that you currently have, and how many you expect to retain from those, or how many do you intend to add on. There's a lot of information that's gathered in there. It's really not that difficult, about 18 different questions. So, but no separate application, which is nice. There's no separate application. There's no separate closing documents. We make this as seamless and easy as possible because lenders really don't like additional paperwork. Whoever the lender is on the call, no additional paperwork, but also for you as an applicant, if you don't have to redo everything just for the sake of redoing it, we've eliminated that process. Okay, so we do intend to, and we have a successful history of making the process quick and easy. Okay, quick, I should mention, because this always comes up, how soon can this happen? Normally, when a lender sends in all the required information, we're looking 6 to 8 weeks before we get a final approval where we can indicate, yes, we can participate with the project. So that's kind of a timeline. We'd love to give it out immediately, but in the scope of things, that's pretty quick. Excuse me. I am going to switch to a piece of our PowerPoint. Some of these items I've already covered. These are the basic qualifications in here. Should bring up things that we can't do. You're all in the restaurant industry, so you're really not going to have a whole lot of this, but I do want to bring up goodwill, because if you are purchasing a restaurant, if that's part of your plan, we can help with the hard assets. So the tables, the chairs, all the cooking equipment, everything else that's involved. But if you're buying John's restaurant and it's John's restaurant, everybody loves John, you're coming in as the new person on there. We can't really do that goodwill of the value of John. That's always a kind of a hard to capture figure. And that is directly from U.S. Treasury. So we can't do anything with goodwill, but we can help out with other assets. Okay. And maybe you're doing some cannabis delicacies, but we can't do anything with cannabis. These are federal dollars. So some of those are just normal items. I brought these up before: collateral, lack of cash flow. Maybe you're a startup. By the way, we love startups. If all you go in with to the lender with a dream and a plan, we love those. So that's something that is not a concern for us. Credit also is not a concern for us. These are all items of concern for lenders that makes them nervous. But that's exactly why we're here. So if there's no collateral or you're short on collateral, that's fine. That's what we're here for. If you're a startup, no history, just projections looking forward, that's great. We love to see startups. Credits off, we don't care. We're not lenders. We're public servants. We're here to help implement a program and help lenders to help you. Okay, so if the lender's good with a 500 credit score, then that's fine. We're good with that too. We deal with some micro lenders that oftentimes don't even really pull credit. So we can help out in those instances as well. The money that we can assist with can be used for anything business related, pretty much anything business related. So we can help with real estate as long as it's not investment real estate. So 51% or more occupied by your business. Okay, if you're buying a strip mall and you're going to lease out spots, no, that's not our bailiwick on there. But if you have a building and you're occupying 51% and there's 49% that you're going to lease out to somebody else, that's fine. Inventory, working capital, big piece on there. The equipment, we all know the cost of equipment on there, so we can help out with equipment. If you're leasing a spot and you want to do the leasehold improvements, that really doesn't help the lender out, but that's something that we can assist with to help you get your business up and running and custom to how you want it to be. And also accounts receivable. So pretty much anything business related. This is just some disclosures on if you're doing a build out. There's different percentages. I'm not going to get into a lot of that. If you have questions like that, you can always visit with your lender, and the lender, we can work with them to make sure we can look to get you the highest dollar amount available. So what are some of the benefits on here? Well, for you as the business owner, you're getting potential access to financing. If you've been getting no's, we can hopefully help turn those no's into yeses. And there's a rate offset, and I'll show you how that works. 2 more slides, I promise, because that's always the most exciting for most people. So there's a rate offset we can provide. For the lenders, they're getting more loan volume, so they're happier and they're doing it with less risk. If we can take away up to 50% of the risk, that helps their bottom line. And for Illinois, economy growth, creating, maintaining jobs here in our great state of Illinois. Couple of items that are important to you on here. The documentation and application are brief and uncomplicated, which I brought up before. There is no separate application, just a questionnaire that you fill out. There is an ITR-1 form that you would fill out as well, so we can check with Department of Revenue, make sure you don't owe the state any back taxes. Another great piece on this is there are no fees. So you don't have a separate application, no separate loan closing documents, and there's no application fee, there's no ongoing maintenance fee, and there's no prepayment penalties. Other than repayment of principal and interest, that's all we ask for. The lender can still charge whatever they normally charge, but we're not, as the state agency, adding anything additional on top. So no cost, no paperwork. So far, it's pretty good. And again, we use the lender's loan write-up. So the participation loan program is our flagship program. It's been around the longest. It's what all of our lenders are involved with. I won't get a lot into the loan guarantee because I think the PLP is more can be direct benefit to this audience. But what a participation loan is we come in and we buy a share of the loan to reduce the risk for the lender. Okay, so in these transactions, you're not receiving the money directly from us. The lender makes the loan to you, and if we've approved it, then we'll come in and buy out a portion of that loan. So I mentioned that questionnaire that the borrower yourself would fill out. And depending on how the questions are answered in there, it's going to guide us down one of 2 paths. So first, does it meet that challenge? Is there a need that the lenders clearly demonstrated that they need our assistance? That's the first hurdle. And after that, we review the questionnaire to see what rate offset and what limits we can go to. So to that end, the maximum amount that we can do under standard, so this would apply towards everybody without falling within a special category, Under standard, we can go up to the lesser of 25% of the project or 50% of the loan, whichever's less, with a range of 10,000 to 2 million. So we got a pretty big range on there. This is a limited program. It's for businesses that are having a challenge or a lender's uncomfortable with. Our maximum term that we can be involved is 7 years. Okay, so we're going to be there for the maximum amount of the first 7 years. This can be amortized. An example of how that works, a lot of times we'll see a 15-year amortization with a 5-year balloon. So after 5 years in that example, the lender would make sure that we're paid off in full, either by refinancing your debt or balloon payment come due at that time. So, so it's a startup program. It's not ongoing. It cannot be renewed over and over again. The rate, told you I'd get to the rate. Our rate, we have a rate offset. So under standard, again, with not falling into a special category, our rate on the portion that we buy out is going to be fixed at 2% below whatever the lender's rate is. So here's an example. The lender underwrites you and your business and feels that 8% is appropriate based upon the risk if they get the state's help. So they send it to us. They say our rate's going to be at 8. Here's the questionnaire where we're going to come in at, and we say, well, based upon the questionnaire answers, we can come in at 6%, 2 percentage points below what your rate is at 8. You as the borrower, if it's a 50% deal and we're able to go up to that entire amount, your blended rate then that you pay on your note would be 7%. Good easy math on there. So it's making your money go further. It's helping you as a business owner that you already have a challenge. We're trying to offset you and make your business more sustainable by reducing the rate on your note. Another piece that's figured into that to determine how much we can assist is number of jobs that are currently that you currently have, and number you intend to retain from that, and how many you intend to create, if any. It doesn't have to be a job creation, but it's part of our piece. So let's say it's a small restaurant. You have yourself and a cook and a server. Say 3 of you. Our maximum amount on that would be $150,000. Okay, without looking at the loan and other amounts in there. But that job creation piece is part of the puzzle that we use to determine the maximum amount that we can contribute. Now, you would put this on the questionnaire, so you'd say, well, I have myself, a cook, and a server. So there's 3 of us. That's our goal. 2 years down the road, we have an accountability department that'll reach out to you as the borrower. We'll say, hey, John Doe, we helped you with Advantage Illinois. You had a goal of creating 3 jobs. How'd you do? And you as John Doe can say, actually, it's great. We've got a full staff in here now. We have a total of 20 employees on board. That's great. That's exactly the design of the program. Congratulations. Conversely, the opposite could happen. Say, well, I actually just it's small. I got myself and I got a part-time cook, so there's 1.5. And these are weird examples, but there's no penalty. We're not going to come back to the bank and say, well, they didn't hit their goal. We're taking our money back. That doesn't happen. We don't force you to hire another 1.5 persons. These are federal dollars. These numbers are tracked to tout the success or failure of the program. Been a successful program, by the way. But we need to report on these numbers to make sure that the program is working like it should. Okay, but no penalties for not hitting your goal. Now, based on the questionnaire answers, we also have a path, which the acronym is SETI. It used to be called FAME, which that was easy to remember. FAME, it was the Fund for the Advancement of Minority Enterprises. And there was 4 different categories consisting of minorities, female-owned businesses, disabled business owners, and veteran business owners. So easy acronym, 4 different categories. That was all underneath the first round of funding for that state small business credit initiative. When that second round came in, Treasury expanded those. So instead of 4 categories, there's 13 different categories now. And what did that done to the program? Well, underneath the first round of funding, 73% of the loans and projects we assisted with, the borrowers fell underneath one of those 4 categories of FAME. Now, 96% last year, 96% of the projects we're able to assist with, the borrowers fell underneath SETI, or socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. I'll show you those categories in just a couple more slides. But some enhancements on there. If you fall under SETI, we can go up to the lesser of 50% of the project or 50% of the loan. Again, whichever's less. Same range, 10,000 to 2 million, same term of 7 years, can still be amortized, but our rate is always going to be fixed at 2% on our portion of the loan that we buy out. So again, if the lender underwrites you and your business, feels that 8% is appropriate, and they ask for our assistance on 50%, if we're able to oblige for the full 50%, we're going to come in at 2%. So now that blended rate that you as the borrower pay is 5% in that example. So your money's going even farther for you, and we're really helping those areas that need assistance. Okay, and there's also some relaxation on the job creation and or retention piece. Instead of every 50,000, it's every 65,000. Excuse me. I'm not going to cover the loan guarantee at this time, but I told you I'd get to the SETI, or socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. Told you there was 4 categories before. It's expanded. So we have now it's labeled as membership of a group subjected to racial, ethnic prejudice, or cultural bias. So a little more expansive on there. Gender, veteran status still applies. Limited English proficiency. You know, that can be a big challenge besides just opening up a restaurant in this day and age. If you can't convey to your lender a lot of what you need and your challenges, that's an obstacle. Residents in the community undergoing economic transitions. That's kind of vague. And these are Treasury guidelines that were handed down. And we actually went back to Treasury when they sent these new guidelines, and we said, okay, how do you define rural, for example? You know, are you based it on population size alone? Is there a map we go to? And the answer by Treasury was on the questionnaire that you fill out, that government form. When you check that appropriate box on there, you are self-certifying to that effect. So we're not going to ask for, you know, hopefully nobody's lying about being a veteran, but we're not going to ask for proof of being a veteran. We're not going to ask for proof of gender. We're not going to ask for proof of disability or any of these other items on there. But again, these are basically tracking mechanisms to determine, are we hitting our markets that we need to, that are underserved. Now, as if you do complete one of these questionnaires, this is very important. It only takes one box. So if it was me and I was just a veteran, I didn't qualify in any other way, I would qualify for SETI options on there. But if you have an African-American female veteran that lives in a community undergoing economic transitions, she should check all of those appropriate boxes, because again, these numbers are tracked. Treasury just reached out to us earlier this last year, asking how many veterans we assisted with the program over the last rolling 12-month period. So we track all those. We have to make sure that we're hitting those target markets. Now, when I look at these first 2 columns on here, and if you look at my picture on the screen, none of those apply to me. Okay, I'll give you that. Limited English proficiency sometimes on early Mondays. But those first 2 columns apply to the individual or individuals themselves. However, there's also CDFI criteria, Community Development Financial Institution criteria. So if I resided within what's called a CDFI investment area, or certifies that my business currently operates or will operate in a CDFI location, then I could qualify for SETI options underneath any of those guidelines. Now, you may wonder yourself, well, how do you find out if you're in a CDFI investment area? Easiest way, and some of you may know this, it's this great thing out there called Google. So if you go to Google and you type in CDFI, And then mapping, like you're going to read a map. It takes you to the first site that pops up on there is the federal government site. You can click on a box in there, put the address of either yourself or your business current or intended location. And if it's in a green shaded area, that is a designated federal government tract CDFI investment area. So, and lenders will often help review that too, so that they know kind of what to expect going in when they're requesting assistance and potential rate offset. So CDFI criteria, along with other personal areas, there's quite a bit that that you have at your fingertips. We do have a full team on board. These are probably not the best pictures, but you know, black and white. We're going old style. We do have a full team throughout the state. I travel throughout the state, talking to groups just like this. I visit with lenders all across the state. So I'm this guy bottom center that's your road warrior. But we also have excuse me, John Taflin, who has over 30 years of lending experience as a valued member of the team. Sharon Polk, who was with the program when it first started back in 2010. She has the history, so she's a huge help. And we have an intern also, and an administrative assistant that was just hired last year, who's doing a great job of helping us to organize everything just that much better. Last thing I'll bring up on here just to touch on, we do have a climate bank. So if you're dealing with anything with your restaurant on clean air, water projects, wastewater treatment, energy conservation, it could be something as simple as you're installing solar panels on your roof of your restaurant. You know, something along those lines. If it comes in and it's green energy, we oversee this program. It's handled through Illinois Finance Authority, but we oversee it. So we'll direct it there if it's along those lines. It's just like our participation program, all the same rules and guidelines, but the biggest difference is the rate offset. Instead of 2% below or 2% flat, it's either going to be 2% flat or 1% flat. So those can really help out if you're doing anything involved with green energy. So to this end, stop sharing this screen. Okay. To assist further, okay, on this is from our DCEO screen. And when you get to the Advantage Illinois, you can find those SBDC centers, but you can also look at our listing of all our approved lenders. Okay, on all of our approved lenders, you can the easiest way, if you know how to do this, you can do the little Control F and you can type in Springfield, and it'll show there's 10 banks that have a Springfield location, so you can go through those and find the bank that is nearest to you. Okay, so that's a quick and easy way to do it. You can type in the city, or if you want to see if your bank is currently one of the approved lenders. Any bank can become an approved lender, but what you'll see going through this listing is community banks are the ones that really grasp onto this program. The bigger banks, the Chases, the US banks, et cetera, they don't need the state's assistance, and they have clear guidelines and different lending limits. So if it doesn't fit into their particular program, they're going to refer oftentimes to another lender who can assist better. And that's what a lot of these lenders are, is, you know, Farmers State Bank of Hoffman. You know, that's not a major lender, but they're going to hit in certain areas, and they a little more involved in the community and may work better with you. But we can sign up any lender. So if you're talking to your current lender, you really want them to be involved with the program, they can send us an application, and on our main page that we were just at, there's a section that the lenders can go to sign up. But on any of our lenders, and I'll just like Pursuit Community Finance, we have a direct link on here, which is going to take you directly to their small business loans. talk about empowering businesses in Illinois, hey, and get free ads, no charge. But it talks about the different programs, SBA and Advantage Illinois, and so on and so forth. So our lenders do have direct links. You can meet the team of Rockford Community Investment. So you can get in here and find out who you're going to be talking to. So we've tried to make our access points again as easy as possible. We're trying to make the program accessible and easy for the lenders to understand, and also make you as entrepreneurs and business owners aware of these resources are out here, and guide you along the right path so that you meet less challenges along the way. And hopefully we can come in at the end and help you overcome the financial challenge that you face. I've been talking for just a moment on there, and I wasn't interrupted by anybody I didn't see. Allie, was there any questions that popped up that need addressed?
I haven't seen any in the box, but if anyone has a question now, feel free to raise your hand, and my colleague will unmute you so you can go ahead and ask. So Teresa, you.
Yeah, everyone's able to unmute themselves now.
Oh,
so
perfect.
if you have any questions, just please ask them. And also, I'm gonna defer to Matthew really quick. As a Pursuit lender, is there anything else you think that we should know about, or anything else you want to add to? Don't mean to put you on the spot. Let's see if I can unmute you. Yeah.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for participating. And Robert, thank you so much for that awesome information. Yes, we are one of the nonprofit CDFI lenders that does participate in this program, and it's a wonderful program. It's a really great way to get your loan to 2%. And just things to consider is that thinking about the parameters that the specific lenders have, you do have to meet their criteria of the original loans there. But other than that, I think it's a very wonderful program, and it's really helpful that Illinois has this program for entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks.
If you can still see my screen, I'll bring this up while we're waiting on anybody else that might have a question. We do have this is actually being updated. You might even see it probably right after this presentation is over. But we do have a complete listing of all the banks by just clicking on them, and again, this is going to be updated. It looks much more like a scatter chart. We had to go through some. I'm not an IT guy, so we recruited some IT guys, and they're just about finished up. So this is going to look a lot more populated. I'm trying to get to the screen, but I can't get to it. But just come back on that later, and when you see a bunch of black dots instead of red dots, you'll know it's updated. So a couple different paths to find out what lenders can assist you.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Okay, is there gonna be a link to a recording or the copy of the slides?
Yes, I'll send a follow-up email with the links and the recording.
Okay, thank you very much. This has been very informative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anyone else have any questions? I know, I think there's still some issues with unmuting yourself. So just again, raise your hand if it.
Yeah, I don't know why that's giving me trouble. Just raise your hand if you'd like to come off of mute.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, what would be the likelihood of an application being approved?
What we have a great success rate on applications being approved. Some of the times where it's not is if a person is overqualified. And just because somebody falls within one of those SETI categories does not mean that they qualify for the program. There has to be a challenge. So if we'll just call it John Slick, who has millions of dollars in the bank, credits to the roof, tons of collateral, great cash flow history, and great projections. There's probably not going to be a real challenge that person has in obtaining a loan on their own. The program is really designed for those entrepreneurs and business owners that have those challenges. So sometimes we'll receive applications from lenders and they'll say, hey, we really want to help John Slick out here get a 2% rate, because it's sometimes, of course, it makes the lender look better and it's going to be good for the business owner, but the rate cannot be a reason to use the program. The program's designed to help overcome other challenges, not the rate's a bonus. So when we have to turn down a deal, if a lender sends it in and said, we need your assistance because I want to help John Slick get a 2% rate offset. That's not really a reason. So those will be times that we turn down. But majority of the projects that we receive, as long as the lender has indicated, hey, we wouldn't do this loan without the state's assistance, and provide it. After that, we just underwrite to the parameters of the program. So we don't underwrite on those credit items and other items or collateral items. We underwrite to make sure it fits the mold of the program as designed by U.S. Treasury and the state of Illinois.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great question.
Yeah, and to that end, we really do try to approve every project that we can, and we try to get to the upper limits. So, for example, if we see that it falls underneath the climate bank, we're going to refer it over there to make sure that we really help out the business in the best way possible with the best rate offset, and that through climate bank. There's a huge push for that in the state of Illinois, and I don't see any of that changing. So we try to get every dollar out that we can to the maximum of our ability. And our team does work quick. We have a small team, a very efficient team, very diverse team. And what that means for you is when you send in this questionnaire and the lender sends in their loan write-up, it doesn't get lost in the red tape of other government areas. And I've worked in different areas of state government, but this one really is so smooth and efficient because it's important to us. We have timelines that, again, we went through our first third of funding and just got done with our audit. So we made it through and everything was good, which is always good news to hear. So that means our second round's coming in, but we have a certain timeline that we have to get 80% of that second round of funding lent out before we get our third round. So it's important for us to work quick and get the money in the lender's hands to make sure to get it out to you.
That's great. I think I'll give it just like one final chance for anybody who maybe has any questions. Don't be shy. Oh, so I see Eric has a question. Teresa, if you can unmute.
Good morning, Eric.
Yeah, good morning. I was wondering, so if we're talking about expansions and maybe the creating jobs opportunity, I happen to own a couple of breakfast diners, and I am looking to open up a third location.
Okay.
I know that we're talking about maybe for equipment. Does any of that go towards just maybe even just electrical or bringing, because it was a restaurant before, but it's not up to code. So I was wondering, do you guys do loans to bring something, because a lot of it was, it looked like Home Depot, went in and just try to fix and make things work somehow. But
right.
So now I'm looking at this project that initially I thought was hey, a no-brainer. I'm like, damn, maybe I need to look for some funding.
Okay. So the answer to that, yes, if you have an appropriate challenge on there, anything business related. So yeah, you need to have, you're wiring everything up to code, especially if you're running heavy commercial equipment through there. not a
Yeah.
time for WD-40 and duct tape. So, yeah, those are normal items, that a build out or whatever it is that we can assist with. So it's up to the lender again to decide, but yes, anything that falls underneath, business, you're all the way down to working capital, we can assist with.
Yeah, and I also just wanted to say thank you so much for this class because this was great. I feel like I learned. I mean, we're family small owned business, so I just
Yeah.
jumped in real quick because I had some time. I told my siblings already. I was like, "Hey guys, I recorded this class for us. We're gonna learn a lot." So thank you so much for this. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. And really, I appreciate, Teresa and Allie, getting this all together because we do a lot of restaurants, because that is the biggest worry for lenders when you're looking at different business opportunities, just because of the failure rate is a lot higher. But we've helped out restaurants everywhere from a small breakfast cafe, like you were mentioning on there, Eric, to Smoothie Kings were the big thing last year. I don't know how many Smoothie King deals we helped out with, but it could be a franchise, and whatever you're looking to do, we really admire and very close to the industry, and that's one of our major areas that we want to continue to work within.
Thank you.
Hi, Robert. My name is Ida Nelson. May I speak now? I didn't see an option to raise my hand. Is it okay to speak?
Yep, go
I
ahead.
can hear you perfectly. Yes.
Okay. Yes, my name is Ida Nelson. I'm the owner of Ida's Artisan Ice Cream and Treats. We are working on opening an ice cream shop, North Lawndale's very first ice cream shop, this summer. And of course,
Okay.
I'm running into some challenges. I'm working with a foundation to do this, and they are actually working with a lot of or a few other businesses in my economically disadvantaged community to help us to get storefront locations opened up and really build up that North Lawndale business district. My wonder is there someone who we can connect with, like myself, the foundation, and someone on your team that could really help us to, because they're helping us to kind of get our bearings about ourselves as business owners. But I think that they also don't really know what they're doing. Like, we're all just figuring it out together. Is there a way that we could maybe have a call with the foundation and someone on your team to share with them some ways that we can they can help and support not only myself but other business owners, small business owners within our North Lawndale community?
Yeah, absolutely. We, just last week I was up in the Chicagoland area and met with there's a little village area of Chicago that.
That's right. That's a part of North Lawndale.
There you go. So visited with them, discussed the program, and really working on increasing their knowledge so that they can better assist individuals just like yourself. So absolutely, always happy to talk to any group like that, economic development centers, which we have throughout the state as well. That's exactly what I do. So be happy to.
Okay, so do I email you in order to set something up, or is there a phone number that I can call? How do I connect with you?
I'll tell you what, I will. I'll shoot you over some information here. Tell you what, let me do this. I'll put it in the chat box.
Okay.
I'll try to put it in the chat box. Let me stop shooting. I think that's perfect. Here's somebody's music in the background on there. Okay, let's go to chat. Well, let me try this. Tell you what, Allie, could you type this in there in the chat box? For some reason, I'm not able to hit that. Our group email box is the best contact on there because everybody monitors that, and we'll get myself or the person closest to the location to respond and help with those kind of items. That group email box is.
Sorry, I'm actually not seeing a option to
No chat
post. Maybe the best option, Teresa, if you can include it in the post.
Yes,
session.
I will do that.
Let's do that, Teresa. I'll shoot that over to you so that way they have the best email box to to contact for that kind of assistance.
Perfect. And then I'll just reach out to everyone afterwards and send it along.
Great. Yeah, but absolutely, would love to assist, Ida.
Yes, we are building Chicago's premier ice cream brand. If you all have not heard of it, and if you have not tried it, I strongly encourage you to have your taste buds wowed by the best ice cream in Chicago.
That's great.
We'll have to make sure and hit that when the weather warms up a little bit.
Oh no,
Yeah.
ice cream is actually you don't have to warm up. Ice cream is actually consumed statistically more in the winter than it is in the summer. So don't wait.
Interesting.
You can have, and on February 1st, you can have ice cream for breakfast because it's National Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. So don't wait till the summer, Robert. Get your,
Yeah, now I'm learning all kinds of new things. This is great.
hey, that's what it's all about.
Does anyone
Well,
have
we
any
good.
other questions?
Is this recorded and can we play this back at some other time or can you
Yes.
send a link out to all the participants so that we can go back and there's some stuff I missed and I just want to be able to go back and see what I missed.
Yes, this was recorded, and then my colleague Teresa, after this call, after this session, will send out an email to all the participants with the recording and just like we said, the email addresses and things like that. So yes, it is being recorded. Great. Any other questions? Thank you, everyone. It looks like we're right at the end of our time. So I'd like to thank everyone who attended, everyone who participated, and thank you so much, Robert Owens with Advantage Illinois. I'd also like to thank the Cook County Small Business Source for their continued support. And then, as we mentioned, after this webinar, you'll all receive a recording via your email, as well as emails addresses that were requested. So thank you to everyone who attended. Thank you to everyone who participated, and have a great day.
All right. Thank you so much.